We'll go ahead and call this regular meeting of the East Peoria City Council to order. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Here.
Hill?
Here.
Mingus?
Here.
Sutherland?
Here.
Mayor Call?
Here.
All present, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the pledge.
Shall we pray? Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and every day that you give us. We ask that you continue your healing as your agents continue to fight against the awful coronavirus. Dear Lord, we ask for your guidance and strengthen us as we make tough decisions. Guide us so that that this meeting and future meetings are productive. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Commissioner Decker?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I move that the City Council recess the regular meeting to hold a public hearing.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ty?
Thank you, Your Honor. So the public hearing this evening, and I'm going to try to keep this fairly simple, is based upon some conversation we've had with the team at Cullinan Properties. We have a condo agreement with them for the Eastport building, the main building that's down there that has the banquet facility, the showers, and other components to it. So they are in the process of looking at a sale of that property, and one of the things that we discovered is that the property was not as what was platted. It had a very simple square around the building and not reflective of where the assets are located down there. So we worked together on that. What's presented this evening is going to be an agenda item, is really just that. It's cleaning up that plat and then revising that declaration of the condominium ownership. It does reduces the city's ownership a little bit in that project, which is not a bad thing. It takes us down to about 26% ownership, but gets things cleaned up and much more accurately reflects of what's going on down there.
Very good. And the media reached out today, and this is about this, and quite honestly, it was a good exercise for us to go through, and we also had the ability with this coming forward to sit down with Cullinan and go through that agreement and clear up some things as we were doing that as well. So I think it puts both of us in a better position with a better understanding. So it's more of a housekeeping item. Any comments from the council? Anyone in the public wish to comment? Seeing no one? All right. Commissioner Decker.
All right, Mr. Mayor, I move that to adjourn the public hearing and reconvene the regular meeting.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present, voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes, please.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the minutes of the special meeting for a working session held on February 4th, 2020, the minutes of the regular meeting held on February 4th, 2020, and the minutes of the special meeting for a working session held on February 11th, 2020 be approved as printed.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present, voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Have nothing under communications. Anyone in the audience wish to address the council on an agenda item? Please step forward. Mr. Source? Sure.
Roy Source Enterprises. I'm hoping I'm here to just answer any questions any of you may have revolving around my application, and hopefully have your support again regarding the additional request for my cannabis processing and cannabis transportation. Any questions from anyone?
I have none. Council, any questions for Mr. Source?
All right, thank you very much.
All right, thanks for being here. Anyone else in the audience wish to address the council on an agenda item, please step forward. Seeing no one. Commissioner Hill.
Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt a consent agenda consisting of items numbered 1 through 5. Item number 1, adoption of resolution number 1920-116, resolution to approve payment of the scheduled bills listed on schedule number 19 in the amount of $5,470,313.87. Item number 2, adoption of resolution number 1920-107 on its second reading, resolution accepting the lowest responsible bid received from RNS Electric, Inc. in the amount of $7,985 for electrical work to replace the emergency power generation switch at the Public Safety Building. Item number 3, adoption of resolution number 1920-113 on its second reading, resolution approving a short-term lease between the City of East Peoria and ICC Group, Inc. for the use of vacant city property in connection with work on the Murray Baker Bridge. Item number 4, adoption of resolution number 1920-108 on its second reading, resolution approving a construction contract and engineering contract for the improvement of the Norfolk Southern Railway Railroad crossing at Carver Lane. Item number 5, adoption of resolution number 1920-110 on its second reading, resolution allocating of $900,000 of motor fuel tax funds for the 2020 street maintenance program and authorizing an engineering agreement with Patrick Meyer and Associates for the street maintenance program, as listed on the agenda for this meeting to be considered by omnibus vote.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Here. Or
All pres-
aye.
All present
Here?
voting aye, Your Honor.
Here and aye. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I move you that items number 1 through 5 listed on the consent agenda be hereby approved and adopted, and the items number 2 through 5, having been read once by their title and having laid on the table for no less than 1 week, be for public inspection, be adopted as presented.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I have 7 items tonight. So, Mr. Mayor, I move the ordinance number 4488 here to attach, an ordinance approving an agreement for the exchange of real property located at Eastport Marina and the amendment to the unit ownership of the Eastport Restaurant Administration Building condominium be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
The public meeting that preceded, that interrupted the start of this meeting is Ty Livingston, I believe, explained it completely. Again, this was the house cleaning and the realignment of the properties and the platting to reflect the responsibilities on that property in the event that Cullinan prepares to sell their portion of the condominium.
Well said. Any comments from the council? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay, the next 2 are sale of excess property. Mr. Mayor, move that ordinance number 4484 here to attach, an ordinance providing for the sale of excess city property at 116 Lawrence Street in the city of East Peoria, Tazewell County, Illinois, be accepted on its first reading as read by its title, be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus.
Anytime the city has property, and in this case, and actually the next case that follows, we make every attempt when the excess property we have no use for is to return it to a useful state. And this property is being bought, I believe the appraisal for this property was $41,500, and we had an offer that came in as 84% of the appraised value, and so therefore this is a deal that we can do. And this will return, the person buying it, Mr. Dan Thompson, will be rehabbing it and putting this back in a productive means on the tax roll, as well as possibly increasing new residents.
Well said. Any comments from the council? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I move you that ordinance number 4485 here to attach, an ordinance providing for the sale of excess property at 402 Monson Street in the city of East Peoria, Tazewell County, Illinois, be accepted on its first reading as read by its title, be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
Here again, another property, 402 Monson. The appraisal value was $15,000. The bid was $12,000. Again, coming in at 80%, which was the minimum requirement. And so therefore, we're returning this one as same as the previous one, should be returned to the tax rolls and as well as possibly bring new residents to the city.
Well said. Any comments from the council? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, move that ordinance number 4486 here to attach, an ordinance authorizing a conditional use for property located at 3201 North Main Street in the city of East Peoria, Tazewell County, Illinois, to allow the operation of an adult-use recreational cannabis processor organization and adult-use recreational cannabis transporter operation be read at length by the clerk, and that said ordinance number 4486 be accepted on its first reading and hereby adopted as presented.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus. Morgan?
Whereas Source Enterprises, the petitioner, has petitioned for a conditional use to allow recreational cannabis processor operation and recreational cannabis transporter operation on property zoned M1 Manufacturing District Limited, located at 3201 North Main Street in East Peoria, shown and described at Exhibit A, attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference, which property as so described hereinafter is referred to as the property, and whereas under the provisions of the city zoning code, a recreational cannabis processor operation may only operate in the city in area zoned B3 Business Service District or M1 Manufacturing District Limited as an approved conditional use in compliance with the conditional use provisions set forth in city zoning code, whereas under the provisions of the city zoning code, a recreational cannabis transporter operation may only operate in the city in area zone B3 Business Service District or M1 Manufacturing District Limited as an approved conditional use in compliance with the conditional use provisions set forth in the city zoning code. And whereas after hearing pursuant to duly published notice, the East Peoria Zoning Board of Appeals has recommended approval of the proposed conditional uses subject to certain conditions hereinafter set forth. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Tazewell County, Illinois, that Section 1 of conditional use to allow operation of an adult-use recreational cannabis processor organization processor on the property is hereby approved. Section 2, the establishment and continuation of the conditional use as an adult-use recreational cannabis infuser hereby authorizing is contingent upon continual compliance with all applicable provisions of the city code and the following special conditions. 1, prior to operation as a recreational cannabis processor, petitioner shall submit final site plan documents for the recreational cannabis processor operation in a facility up to 22,000 square feet in size. The processor site plan that shall be approved by the Director of Planning and Community Development shall be in compliance with all applicable provisions of the city zoning code for conditional use for an adult-use recreational cannabis processor organization. 2, prior to operation as a recreational cannabis processor, the petitioner shall conduct demolition and structure reconfiguration activities on the property in accordance with the processor site plan in a manner as approved by the Director of Planning and Community Development, with the structure for the processor operation having a separate street address and with the effect of meeting the 1,000-foot separation requirement as required for an adult-use recreational cannabis processor organization. 3, prior to operation as a recreational cannabis infuser, the petitioner shall establish sufficient security measures for the processor facility as approved by the Director of Planning and Community Development. 4, petitioner shall comply with all required provisions of the city zoning code for a conditional use for an adult-use recreational cannabis processor organization. Upon the violation of or failure to comply with the foregoing conditions or with any provisions of the city code applicable to the property or its use, the city council may, after providing reasonable notice and an opportunity for hearing, terminate the conditional use for an adult-use recreational cannabis processor operation on the property as hereby approved. Section 3, a conditional use to allow operation of an adult-use recreational cannabis transporter on the property is hereby approved. Section 4, the establishment and continuation of the conditional use as an adult-use recreational cannabis transporter hereby authorized is contingent upon continual compliance with all applicable provisions of the city code and the following special conditions. 1, prior to operation as a recreational cannabis transporter, petitioner shall submit final site plan documents for the recreational cannabis transporter operation in in a facility up to 22,000 square feet in size, a transporter site plan that shall be approved by the Director of Planning and Community Development, shall be in compliance with all provisions of the city zoning code for conditional use for an adult use recreational cannabis transporter. 2, prior to operation as a recreational cannabis transporter, the petitioner shall conduct construction activities on the property in accordance with the transporter site plan in a manner as approved by the Director of Planning and Community Development, with the structure for the transporter operation having a separate street address and with the effect of meeting the 1,000-foot separation requirements required for an adult use recreational cannabis transporter. 3, the transporter facility as approved by this ordinance shall be a separate and distinct structure and facility from the infuser facility approved by this ordinance. 4, prior to operation as a recreational cannabis transporter, the petitioner shall establish sufficient security measures for the transporter facility as approved by the Director of Planning and Community Development. 5, petitioner shall comply with all required provisions of the city zoning code for conditional use for an adult use recreational cannabis transporter. Upon the violation of or failure to comply with the foregoing conditions or with any provision of the city code applicable to the property or its use, City Council may, after providing reasonable notice and opportunity for a hearing, terminate the conditional use for an adult use recreational cannabis transporter operation on the property as hereby approved. Section 5, this ordinance is hereby ordered to be published in pamphlet form by the East Peoria City Clerk. Said clerk is ordered to keep at least 3 copies hereof available for public inspection in the future and in accordance with the Illinois Municipal Code. Section 6, this ordinance is in addition to all other ordinances on the subject and shall be construed therewith, excepting as to that part in direct conflict with any other ordinance, and in the event of such conflict, the provisions hereof shall govern. Section 7, this ordinance shall be in full force and in effect from and after its passage, approval, and 10-day period of publication in the manner provided by law.
Okay. Those that have been following recent meetings may have recognized Mr. Source at the beginning of the meeting. This property at 3201 North Main has asked for conditional uses for other potential licenses issued by the state. So this property has already asked for craft grower, infuser, and now we've got the processor as well as the transportation. So again, the keys that were written into the ordinance are the conditions. A few of them, the biggest one there is the 1,000-foot requirement away from the nearest daycare, and that will be required, the demolition, separating that building and making any part of it 1,000 feet away. And the ordinance you read, that building up to 22,000 or 20,000 square feet is allowed, but again, no part of that building can come within that 1,000 feet. But I wish him the best of luck. It's up to the state of Illinois and the limited number of licenses that are being issued maybe mid-year that he may or may not get one. But
Comments from the council?
Mayor, through this, I spoke with Mr. Source one time, and I guess I appreciate his honesty and never asked us to bend the rules, just said that he would abide by the rules. So I appreciate that. I'll support this.
Very good, well said. Commissioners?
Yeah, sure, I'd like to throw 2 bits in. I have not spoken to Mr. Source, but I did speak to some of his people. They were very polite, very nice. I believe this is an inevitable vote for support. It's going to be locally owned, locally controlled. I guess even if I'm going to vote no, that's about as good as I'm going to get.
I'll just reach out. Mr. Source and I have talked and supportive of his endeavors, and I would like to also wish you luck.
Very well said. And I've met with Mr. Source personally and wish you the best of luck. Hopefully the state comes through, but we'll be supporting this evening. So, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
No?
Mayor Call?
Aye.
I have 4 ayes and 1 no, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I move to you that ordinance number 4487 here to attach an ordinance authorizing a special use for property located at 617 Illini Drive in the city of East Peoria, Tazewell County, Illinois, to allow for placement of an accessory structure, storage shed on the property in the front yard, be accepted on its first reading as read by its title, and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus.
We have a property here that the shed was built in the front yard without anyone's permitting or knowledge. And if you drive along Illini Drive, you will not see this. Most people, I mean, I've drive on it almost on a daily basis, and even knowing that it's there now, in the winter foliage, you might be able to see part of it, but in the spring foliage, it's a lot that's actually, I think I had written a note, it's in behind 716 or house on Illini Drive. It's one of the, I'm saying, a newer lot that's just buried in the woods. The structure was built, some of the conditions that the ZBA had voted 6-1 to allow this structure as long as it was enclosed, because it didn't have, I don't believe it had front or back on it. It has to be enclosed and with door, and the materials have to be similar to what's the structure that's currently there. So, Ty, anything to add?
Yep, you covered it well, thank you.
Comments from the council?
Mayor, whereas I don't like things being built prior to when they're supposed to, I think that's a mistake that a lot of people make. Maybe sometimes they don't realize what they need to and what they don't need to have permits for. Having said that, I am a relative of the person that owns the property right next door, so I think it would be best if I stay out of this one. I'm staying.
Okay. Comments from either one?
No.
Either one? All right, so this property's off the beaten path. I'll be supporting this. I concur with Commissioner Decker's comments. I don't think a lot of people realize sometimes when they do this, but I know where this property is located. It's off the beaten path. I don't see any issues with supporting it, so. Roll call?
Commissioner Decker?
Abstain.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
I have 4 ayes and 1 abstention, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that resolution number 1920-114 hereto attached, a resolution authorizing a $5,000 contribution for Illinois High School Association March Madness Tournament experience from hotel motel tax funds be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 1920-114 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
I believe this is an annual contribution, or is this a new, annual contribution? Because the area cities have been asked to support where other sponsorship dollars have declined. And again, we, by giving this contribution, we go a large way of, we're a benefit of, obviously, the March Madness and the hotel motel dollars that we get that are associated with this. So this is a very worthwhile cause. And anything to add, Doug?
No, even though this is just for the experience, it's a bigger partnership with the IHSA. Obviously, they bring multiple championships here, and so it shows support that East Peoria, I mean, cross-country alone, and the hotels that generates, and chess this weekend, and all the other ones that it brings. So this is just one event, but it's a show of support to the IHSA.
Thanks, Doug.
Very good. Comments from the council?
This is a yearly thing, and it's something that I look forward to. The March Madness, came from Peoria. I can't remember when or how long. It's been quite a while now. But it's one of those things where a lot of communities, a lot of towns would like to have it in their town. And for us to hold on to it for as long as we have is surely we're blessed to hold on to it, and I hope that we keep it for many more years. I happen to think that Central Illinois is the best place for it. So they do a great job with it, and wholeheartedly I will support this.
Well said.
I agree. I think it's a worthwhile contribution. I know the experience, Doug said it was for the experience only, but that's a very cost of it. It's cheap. It's not very expensive to take your family there, your kids there to participate in the activities. I know a lot of schools bring kids on field trips there, and I'm sure that they don't. With all the things they have going on, I'm sure that's not a moneymaker. So without contributions from cities, I'm guessing that the price of that would go up, and the ability for some people to go and participate in the activities may go down. So I'll be supporting this, and I think it's a good contribution.
Very good. Commissioner, any comments? No. Hearing none. Well said by both commissioners. Roll call?
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that resolution number 1920-115 hereto attached, resolution authorizing and directing the payment of an invoice in the amount of $15,000 to the Fond du Lac Park District for security detail at Winter Wonderland lighted display in November and December 2019 be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 1920-115 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
Here's a great example of an intergovernmental partnership. Obviously, we're paying for the officer. There's an officer that's up there every night, November, December. They also make the deposit and they patrol the park. So we are basically giving or paying this bill for the Fond du Lac Park District security detail.
Comments from the council? Hearing none. Roll call?
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, that's all I have.
Commissioner Decker.
I have nothing tonight, Mayor.
Commissioner Mingus.
I have one item tonight, Your Honor.
Oh, I guess I skipped Commissioner Sutherland. I
Hey,
apologize.
that's okay, everybody does, it's all
Oh,
good.
that's all right. I didn't see anything on your thing. You got a blank slate?
Nope, I'm about ready to fall asleep down here,
Okay.
so I don't.
I
Commissioner
have
Mingus.
one item. Mr. Mayor, I move you that ordinance number 4489 here to attach an ordinance amending Title 3, Chapter 3 of the East Peoria City Code, change the number of Class A liquor licenses authorized to be issued within the corporate limits of the city, be read at length by the clerk, and the said ordinance number 4489 be accepted on its first reading and hereby adopted as presented.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. Morgan?
Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Tazewell County, Illinois, that Section 1, Title 3, Chapter 3, Section 1.10 of the East Peoria City Code is hereby amended to read as follows. Additions are indicated by underline, deletions by strikeout. 3-3-1.10 licenses limitation upon number issued, so that the health, safety, and welfare of the people of the city shall be protected and minors shall be prevented from the purchase of alcoholic liquors, and temperance in the consumption of alcoholic liquors shall be fostered and promoted. A, no additional Class A licenses shall be issued under the provisions of this chapter, unless the number of such licenses enforced at the time shall be less than 16. Provided, however, that upon the surrender and cancellation of an existing license, the local liquor control commission may reissue such license to a person who has purchased the business or premises of the prior licensee, and provided further that in the event of annexation of any territory to the city, which territory there is located any business or property for which a valid county retail liquor license has been issued and enforced at the date of such annexation, the local liquor control commission is empowered to authorize the issuance of a new license strictly under the provisions of this code to the person named in the county retail liquor license issued for such business or property, notwithstanding the foregoing limitations upon the number of licenses to be issued. Section 2, this ordinance is hereby ordered to be published in pamphlet form by the East Peoria City Clerk, and said clerk is ordered to keep at least 3 copies hereof available for public inspection in the future in accordance with the Illinois Municipal Code. Section 3, this ordinance is in addition to all other ordinances on the subject, and shall be construed therewith, excepting as to that part in direct conflict with any other ordinance in the event of such conflict, the provisions hereof shall govern. Section 4, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage, approved on 10-day period of publication in the manner provided by law.
Thank you, Morgan. This is something that we do time from time. I feel like maybe we do every other month, but we just changed the number of liquor licenses. I believe, I handed it to the mayor, but I believe we're going up to 16 from 15 Class A liquor licenses, and that's what this is.
Correct, yeah, and it's based on establishments as they close, and if they don't utilize the liquor license, or we add one, we do fluctuate, so. Any other comments from the council? Hearing none, roll call?
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye,
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
thank you. Is that it?
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Very good, thank you, Commissioner. Any public comment? Anyone in the audience wish to address the council on a non-agenda item, meaning anything you wish to address the council on, you may step forward. Mr. Sinks, welcome back, sir.
I got here late, is that including me? I had to go to the park board meeting too. It started earlier.
Ah,
You guys slept too late. What I'd like to know, have you guys heard anything on this FOID card? Some gal in Glenview is wanting to, on the FOID card, if you want one, you have to have $1 million worth of liability insurance. Have you guys heard anything on this?
I've seen something where she's proposing that. I'd be hard pressed to think it'd get out of committee, but this is Illinois, so nothing would surprise me.
Okay, I'm just bouncing around.
Yeah.
I was told about it. And where does northern Illinois and downstate Illinois, where's the dividing line? Interstate 80?
Good question. If you talk to people that live up north, all my life, as far as I can remember, anything south of
Downstate
80
didn't
is
exist?
southern Illinois.
Yeah.
I disagree with that, but
Yeah, well, I didn't know, they're talking about it now on some kind of it's going up
Yeah.
in front of in Springfield somewhere about something. I can't find out too much about it, and I thought, well, you people are always in the know, you could fill me in here a little bit.
yeah,
No?
they don't fill us in on anything. We get the news the same way you do.
Boy, we're not very informed, are we? And I'll tell you, you guys better talk to that park board. They had their whole gallery full of people. You're doing something wrong.
Well, that's what happens when you make people mad, then it fills seats.
That's what they.
I'm not
concluded.
casting judgment on the park board,
No,
but
I know.
I heard through a little bird they had some controversial topics they were going to discuss tonight. so,
Mainly the golf course. That was
Right.
a hot one.
Yeah.
But, no, I didn't. I couldn't have walked around not throwing that out. But I did ask everybody there that I got halfway close to, I said, come on down to the city council meeting and just being there, maybe we can intimidate them into doing something we want done. But I don't think it done no good. They said they'd call you, but, Hey, thanks for your time.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. Anyone else wish to address the council on a non-agenda item? Seeing no one. Very good. Comments from the council. Commissioner Decker?
I have nothing, Mayor.
Commissioner Hill?
I have nothing.
Commissioner Sutherland?
I got something to say. Okay. On the construction to do with the sewer treatment plant, we found another underground electrical wire that was in the way. It's in the way. The estimate is going to cost us to get it out of the way. It's not a small mistake. And I think if you guys listen to me before, any project I think the city gets involved with, we have our own machines to do potholing. We're going to pothole. I mean, we're looking at, like I said before, the cost would have still been there somewhere to move this wire out of the way if the buildings couldn't be built elsewhere on the property. I get it, but I don't like surprises. This is no way to do business. And just to let you know that the weather is holding us up to finishing up the sewer repair on Faulkner. The water pipe going underneath Altorfer is coming along. I think the weather has a lot to do with that also, with their machine boring in the freezing weather. And then there's a water line that's going in right now, started on Farmdale Road, and that was because of the boring was done underneath the creeks earlier this year, and the weather's halfway decent, so I guess they decided to tackle it. So far, we're still plugging along here. That's it.
Very good. Commissioner Mings?
Just one quick item, Your Honor. Yesterday, we swore in the newest member of our fire department, Alex Stollenberger, was sworn in, and just wanted to publicly welcome him to the department.
Very good. Just a couple comments. First of all, hats off to the fire department today. They had a call down at the UPS facility, quick response, and knocked that blaze down rather quickly and really minimized the amount of damage that could have caused. So I appreciate the fire department for their quick response and work that they did, and the police as well on scene quickly. So I think there's something to be said. I know we complain a lot of times when we look at that dollar amount. Like to get this in every time I can, but there's a cost to having that service, and I don't think today's a prime example of how that pays for itself. So keep that in mind if you ever have a need for those emergency services. what's all involved in that. It's well worth the money, especially when it affects you personally, so kind of puts a different spin on things. And then secondly, last week we had the operating budget working session, and next week we'll have the capital one, which won't probably be as gentle, if you will, because everyone's going to be fighting for those capital dollars, which, we're looking forward to that. We're going to be working on that through this week, leading up to next Tuesday, so hopefully that conversation next Tuesday will be minimal in that we'll be talking about true needs versus wants, and I know the department heads this week are working on prioritizing their capital request, so hopefully we have a good, fruitful discussion, and we can land on a budget in the very near future here going into the next fiscal year. So appreciate all the hard work. I know it's been painful. It's never a good time of year, but it's something that's necessary, and we try to be as transparent as we can in the process. So that's all I have. I'd seek a motion to adjourn.
That's me. Mr. Mayor, I move that we adjourn until Tuesday evening, February 25th, 2020 at 4 p.m.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
We are adjourned until we meet again. Thank you.
Nope. Last week. Well, for me, well, I guess I have gone a few months at a time sometimes.
You shaved for today, too.